something similar to IDs, right? Just like I explained before. But now, for you to be able to use classes, you have to precede it with a dot first, rather than using hash like your IDs. Now, in what positions do you use IDs? In what positions do you use classes? So, so when we talk about classes and when we talk about IDs, what exactly do we mean? So, I'm very sure that a lot of us have identity cards, probably national identity cards or even a passport, right? So we know what these things are. When we talk about ID cards, what do we mean? We're talking about a person's identity. So, okay, when we see a particular identity of Ugochi now, what are exactly saying? This is who Ugochi is. This is who David is. You understand it now? That is basically what your ID is. So it's just bringing it into programming, into HTML and CSS. The places where you use IDs are probably when you're talking about singular um, element or singular tags. So now, if you notice the example I gave, check your laptops, check your screen. Um, if you notice the example I gave, the places where I used IDs are where for singular tags, right? I use on a P tag. A P tag is probably not a tag that encompasses other tags. You understand it now? That's what IDs are. Now, when we talk about classes, so we are in a class right now, right? So classes are like combination or collection of similar stuff or similar things of people that have sorry, just a moment. People that have similar goals, you understand? Thank God. People that have similar goals, you understand now. So in this class now, this is a class of front-end developers, right? That is a class of cybersecurity analysts. Do you get it now? Now, that's basically what classes are. Classes are now saying that you are bringing in um, similar things together just to start them up in CSS. So that's basically where you use classes and where you use IDs. IDs are used for what? Singular entity or singular tags, while classes are used for like a combination of what of elements. And most of the times, classes are used in sections, div tags, tags that would have combination of things. That's your nav tag. You understand it now? That's where you use classes. You have a question? Yes, you can start an ID even if it's. In fact, let me show you. You can start a class if it's in a P tag, and you can start an ID if it's in a div tag. But I'm telling you that it is not the right way to do it because when you get to places like JavaScript now, you need to probably work on functionality. Now, JavaScript is very very logical. If I say if I'm working on I'm trying to like look for the best example. So without writing code. So let's say you are trying to like create a particular logic. Let's say you're trying to create a particular logic that probably a to-do list, very, very good. A to-do list. Now you want to probably include a to-do list, and I'm trying to say that okay, I want you to generate multiple elements under this particular section. You understand? Then that's what to-do lists are. So to-do list is like whenever you input a particular list, it keeps adding, it keeps adding, it keeps adding. Meaning that you're going to have multiple elements in that particular section. You understand it now? I'm already giving you a little bit of logic in JavaScript. So that is how it is. Now, if you now go ahead to use an ID in that kind of place in JavaScript, JavaScript is not going to work because it is automatically going to see IDs as what? Singular elements. But in that particular section, you are expected to have multiple elements. You understand it now? So it is going to expect you to use a class rather than what an ID. Do you get it now? So that is why it is not advisable for you to use classes where you're supposed to use IDs. Classes are for combination of elements. IDs are for what? Singular elements. I hope that explanation is clear to us. You have a question? Okay. Right. Sorry?
Can we have more than one ID in a page?
Yes, you can. You can even have. Wait, are you saying on one element or on multiple elements in a page?
On multiple elements in a page.
Yes, of course. In fact, you can have more than one ID on one element. You can have more than one ID on multiple elements in a page. It's not doesn't really matter the amount of IDs, just as you follow this conventional rule of IDs are for what? Singular elements, classes are for what? Combination of elements. You understand it now? That's how it works. So, any questions so far? Is it clear? Is it clear to us? Mr. Kelvin, Mr. Shegun, Mr. Alex. Again, I might not be able to hear you. Please just drop your questions in the chat box. And if you understand, please give me a thumbs up. All right. So that means we can move on to the next part now. Now, the next thing I will be talking about now is CSS properties. I really need this thing to be on for us to go into CSS properties. Is it? No, you can still do it in the same way. CSS properties are not. We can do it in the same folder. Okay. Stop recording first.